right, welcome to another episode of Poncha Talk and our first Poncha Talk episode of the year 2025 and the first episode of season 3 because I love starting new seasons on this podcast for no reason. So happy new year. My name is Ellie. I am host of Poncha Talk, this podcast about all topics related to remote work, digital nomad, a flexible lifestyle, and any like personal growth topics along the journey of building that lifestyle. I am currently in a bit of a transition phase myself and trying to find the right lifestyle for myself. I am just sharing the inspiration along my journey with you guys through this podcast. The end of the year has been a great way to recap the podcast journey of Poncha Talk because I realized as I was looking back that this podcast has just been such a great inspiration for myself because of all of the great people that I met just interviewing and talking about the podcast. And also it's been a great outlet for myself with the solo episodes and just like getting my thoughts together for you guys. I just want to express my gratitude and say I'm very thankful for all of the support that I've gotten for the podcast. I'm sorry, my voice is a bit rough today because it is January 1st and last night was New Year's. But anyways, once again, thank you for all of the support and positive feedback and constructive feedback that I've been getting on the podcast. I've really been enjoying this journey. So I wanted to kick off the new year with this episode and reflect on my favorite moments from my interview episodes of 2024. And then talk to you guys also a little bit about my personal resolutions moving forward, as well as what to expect on Poncha Talk in 2025. So let me start by sharing my favorite Poncha Talk inspiration of the past year with you.
Yeah, I want to keep going this way because it's like something I really like to do. It gives me the confidence and also like the joy of doing something. It makes sense for me. You know, before I was working in a corporate job, I had to do something for my boss, for the company. They did great because of all the people working for them. But for me, I wasn't really enjoying doing this, you know. I was like buying screws and nuts in the river. It's not my dream job, you know. And now I can do something helping people to become financially free. This is such a different work, you know. If they give me the feedback that I help them a lot, I was like an eye opener, that they started investing and they have fun, you know, and they see how the money grows. Once you see that your money can grow for you, you get bigger dreams.
Still takes some work on your own, of course, as well, for you to start the dance lessons and to build them and reach out to people. Do you have any advice on that, like how you go after your ideas?
Well, it does take courage. It does take a certain level of confidence, I guess. And that doesn't happen overnight. And I'm not always super confident, but I think what I like to call is collect positive evidence. I was lucky enough to have been teaching for 5 years, so I know I can teach. I know I can choreograph, so I know that there's something, I have a skill. And I think it's experience that gives you that confidence in a way, but also like just strengthening yourself mentally. So I do have like my routines where I journal, and whenever I do have unpleasant feelings, you know, I really dive into them and I really try to not analyze, but like sense what's going on for me. Like I do a lot of work. I do a lot of like emotional healing work and all that. I think the key really is to understand yourself, like know yourself so well that you know how to navigate these moments of doubt and these moments of, like sometimes you just have these moments, and I think it's all about having a toolkit, and everyone has a different one, but for me it's definitely journaling. I do nonviolent communication, which helps me a lot dive into my feelings and needs and into like self-acceptance and all that, and I think that helps me a lot, you know, meditate, but also again talk to people who you trust, get that confidence boost. But then I think just, it sounds so plain, but it's like, just do it.
First, and that's the thing that I talk with most people about it, when they're like, how can I start? Do I have to take care of all those forms? Germany is actually quite forgiving if you are just starting first. So you can go ahead. You can just start first. You just have to make sure to know like the timelines when you should tell like the government or like the financial offices like, hey, okay, I started freelancing. I think it's easier to just start, just try to make the first contact with potential customers, get the first leads, negotiate the first offer, and then you can still think about all the bureaucracy topic. Because I think it's like the decision fatigue that hits you up front because there's so much bureaucracy if you're doing it at one point, that if you think about it up front, you will not think about your career as a freelancer, but you will think about your career as somebody just managing bureaucracy.
There was an empty space in some kind of video game niche that we saw an opportunity, and as a hobby, instead of going to the gym, I decided to go with them at some friend's place to make this kind of prototype of video game, just because, why not? And well, it turned out that it was also an interesting game for other people, and for some companies were interested in this kind of game. And we had the luck that some really important Spanish company regarding video games sector in Spain and Latin America contacted us, and we had the possibility to make this game more professionally with this company. So everything changed. So I just quit the hotel sector, my job in the hotel, and I went full on this project. It was a risk. My parents were like, I don't know, are you sure? Like video game, you know how? Yeah, you know how are the parents with video games and everything. I had a lot of discussions at home with this aspect, but well, I'm here now because thanks to video games, I will say. Yeah, and my parents now, they told me, sorry, Edu, we didn't believe in you. So, well, you have to work and risk it sometimes.
Like even when things don't work out, I feel like, okay, well, so what else? You know,
What else can we do instead?
and the teacher for my nervous system training, she's like, it's only a problem once you turn it into a problem. It only becomes a problem once you turn it into a problem. I'm like, yeah, it's so true. Because if not, what could be the possible solution? So I do feel that, for example, the training I did as a resilience coach helped me to like, like it helped me in some way, you know? But I feel like bottom line, it's all about the nervous system and the body, how you're reacting, how, you know, everything. It's the nervous system.
So once again, thank you for everybody who has been supporting the podcast in the last year, and a special thanks, of course, to my wonderful interview partners that have volunteered to be on the podcast and share their stories and journey and learnings with us. As I said, it's really been such a great inspiration for myself to just get those insights from other people who have, you know, been in similar situations as myself. Because I think sometimes when you're going through transitions in life or you're just trying to find your own way, it's easy to like think, what the hell am I doing? Why can I not figure this out? But hearing other people's journey has really helped me realize that, you know, everybody goes through phases like this in life. Nobody has it all figured out from step one, but, you know, you just have to embrace the journey to figure out what you want to do in life and to work for it and grow along the way. And eventually you'll get there. Like I said, these stories have been great inspiration for myself. And I was looking back at those when I was setting my New Year's resolutions for the next year, actually, which the main resolution for myself is that I need to get a job because I'll have to make money. But the main thing is that I don't just want any job. I really want to find a job that I enjoy doing, because this is what I realized from, you know, talking to the guests. I realized they all do something that they really love. And I want to find something meaningful like that for myself as well. Because I think the reason why my career has been so like patchy and I was never really able to stick to a job for more than 2.5, 3 years max is because it was really just, the job was always just a means to, you know, make money. It was never really, that was truly fulfilling for me. And so after a couple of years, I just get tired of it. New Year's resolution number 1 is find a job that really aligns with my passion and that gives me purpose. And I've always thought about starting something on my own because, I feel like if you start your own business, it's much easier to, do exactly the thing that gives you joy in life. But of course, it also comes with a lot of burdens and it takes a lot of strength to take that first initial step. And unfortunately, I've always been somebody who has a lot of self-doubt and not too much confidence when it comes to starting things on my own. But then again, I've really appreciated the feedback that I've gotten from like the interviews, for example, with Eva and Franzi, that have shared their tools of like how to navigate those moments of doubts, because I realized it's normal to doubt yourself. It's just about having a tool set to navigate that. And that's also something that I really want to work on in the upcoming year. So that's more of like I guess it's a resolution, but it's probably more of an intention on what I want to focus on personally, is really to work on my self-awareness and to work on my confidence. I have been starting with that over the last couple months already as I was navigating challenges and changes in my life. And I have found for myself some way of regularly reflecting through journaling and also working on a more positive mindset through journaling by writing down like the small wins of every day and just like building, as Franzi called it, collective evidence that I can do things on my own. So I'm starting with small things like that, and I'm making sure that I'm regularly reflecting and checking in with myself. I've also started running more, which also helps me clear my head, and I really need to get back into yoga because that's another great practice to do. So I have a couple of things I want to do to really work on that intention for self-awareness and confidence boost. But then again, which is what I got from most of the interviewees also, I shouldn't let these like moments of self-doubt hold me back in this stage of my life, because I've done a lot of preparation and things already. And I kind of know that I can do it. It's just now I'm at the point where I have to just do it. Deniz said it. Sometimes it's better to just start. Patrick said it. Just start. I don't have to know it all. Just start. It's hard though, but I did it with a podcast actually, now that I'm looking back, because this was just a spur of the moment idea. And I'm so grateful, like I said, for all the inspiration and connections that this has brought to me. So I definitely want to keep going with the podcast as well. That is another New Year's resolution. Keep up the podcast because, like I said, this has been such a great tool for myself to make connections, to get inspiration, and also to, reflect on my personal growth as well while sharing it with you guys, which is kind of something that gives me purpose, I hope, if anybody finds this helpful. So Poncha Talk started kind of like in the spur of a moment. It was a drunken idea that I followed up on the next day, and then I got a microphone and started interviewing somebody. So I realized that the first 3 months of the podcast, like over the last couple of weeks, it's been quite experimental, let's say. I'm also super new to the podcasting, so I've been trying different format, different kinds of guests, and I've had pretty much zero structure, I know. So I've taken a lot of lessons learned from this phase as well. And I do realize that I should have a little more focus for my episodes, a little more structure. I'm looking at different ways to engage with you as well. I think maybe we can do some like Q&A sections or something as well, especially for the solo episodes. And I'm also working on new cover art because I realized that is absolutely horrendous at the moment. But maybe that's not so important compared to the content. Hopefully, please don't judge me on my lack of digital marketing skills. But anyways, so looking forward for 2025, the mission for the podcast will stay the same. I want to continue to share, inspiration for this flexible lifestyle that I am building at the moment. And I want to continue to talk to guests that have successfully managed this transition or that are currently in the process. And of course, also take you along my personal development journey along the way and continue to talk about those topics like personal growth and whatnot that comes with building this lifestyle and living that lifestyle. But I think for the next season, which I'm not sure, I think we'll do a little longer season, maybe 3 to 6 months. I want to expand the topics a little bit beyond just Madeira, because we've been very Madeira focused, which is great because we love Madeira, of course. But I'm also talking to some international guests to bring in so that we can branch out a little bit to talk about different types of flexible lifestyles in different countries, some global perspectives, maybe other personal growth topics and remote work topics that come along with that. For the episodes coming up, we'll kind of have like some alternating between guests interviews here on Madeira, some guests also international. I have to figure out how to do the Zoom call or whatever it is, but I will. And of course, I'll keep the solo episodes and my personal journey along the way. So don't forget to subscribe to the podcast so that you can stay up to date on what's coming up, and follow on social media at Poncha Talk to stay tuned for, whatever other ideas I may have. So once again, thank you so much for listening to this episode. Again, thank you for the support of the past year. And I am wishing everybody a great start into the new year. Happy New Year. Don't forget to set your New Year's resolutions or intention. If you'd like, feel free to drop them in the comments if you want to share. Or also if you have any other ideas for the podcast, a topic that you'd like to hear, or other ideas. If you're great at designing cover art, feel free to drop me a message. And again, thanks for your support. Don't forget to like the episode, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe to the podcast. See you soon. Thank you. Bye.